The film unfolds on December 22, 1971, just 3 days before Christmas, in a small Canadian town. A group of four individuals is seen observing a young couple's home. Then, they approach the house, and upon the husband opening the door, one of them viciously attacks him without mercy. After that, terrified wife strip her and proceed. One of the group members draws a strange symbol on the glass windows, suggesting that perhaps there is some ritualistic nature to the atrocities. In the following scene, we are transported to Blackvale Academy, an exclusive all-girls boarding school. Clara, a teenage student, abruptly awakens from her slumber, visibly shaken, as if she has encountered a dreadful nightmare. Peering out the window, she catches sight of Samantha, a quiet and often teased classmate, preparing for a morning jog. Samantha goes jogging around and after coming back, decides to take a shower. As Samantha stands beneath the cascading water of the shower, enveloped in a veil of steam, her solitude is rudely shattered as the lights flicker and fade, leaving her in darkness. She calls out, but no one replies. There is a lingering, unsettling sense of unease. The scene then transitions to the history classroom, where their teacher, Miss Rose, presides over a lesson on the town's dark past. With a solemn tone, she recounts the tale of a devastating fire that ravaged the town decades ago, sparing only 4 souls. The blame for this tragedy, she reveals, was pinned on a supposed witch. Amidst the murmurs of her classmates, Samantha's gaze is drawn to Clara's hands, marred by some affliction. Seeing her distracted, the teacher calls out, asking for her opinion on the existence of witches. The girl quickly redirects her attention and tells the teacher how she doesn't believe in such tales. Later, during the lunch break, amidst the chatter and clatter of trays and cutlery, the conversation inevitably turns to the recent series of grisly slaughters that have cast a spell of fear over the town. Before Samantha has a chance to go and sit beside Clara alone, a newspaper headline, collected by one of the girls, is slammed onto the table in front of her. It serves as a grim reminder of the that grips their community. According to the newspaper, the Christmas executioners, a group of serial assassins, have claimed the lives of 3 families in the span of a week. In quiet whispers, the girls discuss the creepy ways the bad guys commit crimes, like using knives and causing really awful injuries. Samantha becomes curious about the strange symbols left behind at the crime scenes. She wonders what they might be, and the popular girl suggests a link to occult practices. She thinks it must be a symbol of some satanic rituals. As they talk, they remember the impending winter holidays, offering a reprieve from the stifling atmosphere of fear and paranoia that spreads the school grounds. With the winter holidays approaching, the students start feeling relieved as they can escape the fear at school and go home. But it seems that Clara's holiday experience is a bit different. It is revealed that Clara has never been home during the holidays. She doesn't even have any friends, and spends most of her time drawing alone. Speculation about her background runs rife among her peers, with some thinking that perhaps she is an orphan, but no one has confirmed it yet. After getting teased by her classmates, Clara gets up and rushes off. Just then, the headmistress arrives at the table with Teacher Rose and quickly sends the students back to their classes. Some time later, we see Miss Rose, who takes a short break from teaching to meet up with her boyfriend Jimmy. Jimmy works as a chef at the school. In the busy kitchen, they find a bit of time to talk about their dreams for the future. Even though they try to keep their relationship secret, some students have noticed their feelings for each other. Rose reprimands him for giving the tabloid to the students and asks him to not do it again. On the other side, Samantha eagerly prepares to depart for the warmth and familiarity of home. Months of separation have left her yearning for the comforting embrace of family. Yet, her hopes are dashed by an untimely call from her stepfather, bearing news of unforeseen circumstances that shatter her plans for a reunion. He tells her that she would need to spend this Christmas there alone. With a heavy heart, Samantha resigns herself to the prospect of spending the holidays alone, within the confines of the school's walls. Since she was really looking forward to these holidays, the weight of disappointment bears down upon her, and tears stream down her cheeks. Her solitude is magnified by the echoing emptiness of the school corridors as she rushes towards the bathroom. There she is confronted with a distressing scene that sends shivers down her spine. In a secluded corner, the loner Clara is discovered inflicting wounds with a knife. As soon as she sees Samantha, the girl gets up and quickly rushes out. Meanwhile, in the heart of the town, just 2 nights before Christmas, the ominous quartet of executioners make their chilling presence known once more. This time their target is the unsuspecting priest of the local church. Led by the formidable figure of Jude, they ensnare their prey, revealing a telltale mark upon the priest's stomach that signals his fateful role in their twisted agenda. With grim determination, Jude wields his blade, carving into his victim to claim a gruesome piece of flesh. After taking what they wanted, they hear the priest ask not to let something out, before Jude signals to Grant. The latter inflicts the final blow, dispatching the priest with a swift, brutal twist of the neck. Back within the confines of Blackvale Academy, Clara awakens from yet another tormenting nightmare. Her troubled slumber haunts her subconscious mind, as her peers eagerly depart for the holiday recess, embarking on their journey homeward. On the other side, Jimmy, the devoted school chef, has prepared a proposal ring. The man has been assigned to drive the students to the local train station, and he puts the beautiful ring in his pocket. He is probably planning to propose to Rose once he comes back. He bids goodbye to everyone and leaves with the kids. The holiday empties the halls of Blackvale Academy. Now only Rose, Samantha, and Clara remain behind, a trio amidst the echoing silence. Despite their disappointment, Rose assures the girls that they can still make the most of their time together. She tries to cheer them up, but to no avail. Both the girls go back inside without giving her much attention. Later, Rose finds Samantha sprawled in front of the TV. She carries the weight of her stepfather's betrayal heavily upon her shoulders. Rose attempts to speak to Samantha, but Samantha isn't interested in listening. Instead, she shares that her stepdad only sent her to this place, telling her that she would be trying it for one semester. But now she understands that he simply doesn't want to deal with her, as he won't let her come home for Christmas. Upon hearing this, the compassionate teacher tries to cheer Samantha up by promising her that she'll have a life of her own in the future. Then, she asks Samantha to go to the basement to fetch some vodka. Encouraged by her teacher's words of wisdom, Samantha finds a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness of her disappointment. Samantha cautiously descends the stairs, her nervousness palpable in the dimly lit surroundings. As she fumbles through the shelves in search of the desired vodka, a sudden interruption startles her. Just then, Clara emerges from the shadows, her presence unexpected. In an honest conversation, Clara confesses to sneaking into the forbidden parts of the school library, where there are books that are not meant to be seen. Samantha, feeling sorry for disturbing Clara the night before, tries to make things right with, but Clara's mysterious reply doesn't give much clarity. With an aura of mystery surrounding their interaction, Samantha is left to wonder about the secrets hidden in the depths of Blackvale Academy. While Samantha drinks vodka cautiously, Clara surprises her by asking about her mother's demise. Samantha feels a shiver run down her spine as she remembers the fateful day. Reluctantly, Samantha shares the painful memory of her mother's car crash, a wound that still hurts deeply even after many years. It turns out that she was there too, but she came out unscathed. She went out to get help, but by the time she was back, it was a little too late. After the conversation, the two go back upstairs to help Miss Rose with the pie that she is making. Meanwhile, in a completely different setting, the Christmas executioners set out on yet another dark mission, their sinister plans hidden in a shroud of mystery. Inside their cramped vehicle, Jude and Macy steal a brief moment of closeness, their secret relationship developing amidst their sinister activities. But their moment is interrupted when the fourth member of their group, Doug, finds it hard to concentrate on driving, distracted by what's happening in the back seat. Suddenly, chaos erupts as a deer appears out of nowhere, causing a violent crash that brings their journey to a sudden stop. With adrenaline pumping, the executioners quickly move the injured deer to the side of the road, showing their cold indifference to life. Doug comments that perhaps it is a bad omen, or something like a sign from God that they are on the wrong path. The group ignores him, and are ready to resume their journey once more, saying that they are on the exact path that they are meant to be. However, before they can go back, an unexpected visitor arrives. A police officer, attracted by the commotion. He inquires about this, and that, when all of a sudden, he is led to a shocking find. There is a piece of on the road. Before the officer can react, Grant attacks him from behind, knocking him out, while Doug gets shot and injured. In a chilling act of violence, Jude fatally shoots the officer, ensuring there's no chance of intervention from him again. Meanwhile, back in the academy, Clara wakes up from another nightmare, her troubled sleep hinting at the disturbing link she has with the brutal massacres plaguing their town. She is greeted by Samantha, who asks her if she heard what Samantha said. Seeing the latter's cold face, she asks if Clara is okay, but the girl keeps to herself, saying she is fine. However, as they are setting up the table, Clara apologizes for her behavior and says that she is just not good with human interaction. The two slowly open up to each other. Later that evening, amidst the comforting glow of candlelight, Samantha and Clara find solace in the company of Miss Rose, whose efforts to create a sense of warmth and belonging are evident in the spread of a lavish dinner. But their newfound peace is shattered by an unexpected knock at the door. Standing on the threshold are the ominous figures of none other than the Slaughterer group. Despite Rose's evident discomfort, the group insists on entry, their brazen assertion of authority sending shivers down the spines of the inhabitants. Macy even mentions that she went to the same school and graduated in 1964, and her picture is hanging on the wall there. This unsettling revelation only adds to the tension. It is the night before Christmas, and as the night descends upon them, Rose reluctantly allows the Slaughterer group into the safety of her home. There, in the kitchen, she tends to Doug's wound. She wants it to be done as soon as possible so that they can leave. The atmosphere is shattered when Maisie notices Clara, sparking her curiosity about Clara's past. She finds the girl eerily familiar, but despite Macy's probing, Clara remains silent, intensifying the tension in the room. After Doug's treatment, the group's reluctance to leave raises suspicions for Rose. With Jude becoming increasingly volatile, Rose senses danger and takes action. Grabbing a pair of scissors to protect the group, she shouts at the girls to run. She herself follows suit, but Clara's decision to go deeper into the building disrupts their escape plan. Sensing the urgency, Samantha follows Clara, their footsteps echoing as they seek refuge in the church room. As the threat looms ever closer, the two girls cower beneath the shelter of the church pews, their hearts pounding in fear. Doug enters the room and calls out, but the girls stay hidden. In an attempt at intimidation, Doug tries to startle them, only to get hit himself. However, her hit proves futile, as Samantha soon finds herself ensnared by Doug's grasp. Her desperate attempt at resistance is useless against his overpowering strength. Clara, armed with a knife, moves to intervene, but Doug's menacing threat to snap Samantha's neck forces her to relinquish her weapon. She surrenders herself to their captor's control, and the two are then led out by him. Jimmy is still on the road on his way back. Meanwhile, Rose, besieged by fear, seeks refuge within the confines of a locked room. Her frantic attempts to call for help are thwarted by the deafening silence on the telephone line. Soon, her hopes for rescue fade when Jimmy, her devoted boyfriend, arrives, only to be brutally attacked by Grant, who emerges from the shadows. All this is witnessed by a trembling Rose. Just then, Jude breaks into Rose's room, pulling her away from safety and into the uncanny dining table. Amidst the chaos, the intruders tie up the poor captive, leaving them helpless. With Rose and the rest tied up, these monsters indulge in the feast before them. As the Christmas Eve dinner turns into a horrifying spectacle, Jude's twisted idea of hospitality extends to Rose, as he heartlessly makes her participate in their depraved games. He brings over food and makes her eat it out of the plate. Fearing for the lives of everyone, Rose complies, only to get her head smashed in the plate of food before her, reminding the captives of their powerlessness. Then, using Rose's affection for Jimmy, Jude manipulates her emotions in a chilling manner. With a sinister look, he allows Jimmy a brief moment of freedom from his restraints to propose to Rose. However, any hope for a happy moment is shattered when Jimmy tries to fight back and is brutally taken out, leaving the room in stunned silence. His blood splatters everywhere, and Doug heartlessly comments that he is dirtying the food. What a sick bunch of psychopaths. Despite the shock, Clara remains strangely composed, showing a disturbing detachment from the tragedy. With cruel indifference, Jude concludes the gruesome dinner by giving Rose the engagement ring meant for her. He mocks the love and happiness they once hoped for. Soon, the remaining three captives are herded into the main hall. Jude continues his twisted game of psychological, unveiling the carefully wrapped presents brought by Rose. The first gift happened to be for Samantha, who is forced into the ordeal of donning the beautiful dress, with everyone in the same room. For little privacy, Clara is made to stand before the girl, but her discomfort is visible, as Clara looks on at her with an unsettling smile. The next present happens to be for Jimmy. Jude reads the card aloud, making poor Rose cry. Afterwards, they open Clara's gift, which happens to be a travel book. Rose wrote that she knows how Clara wishes to travel the outside world, having been locked up in here for so long. The book is thrown in front of Clara, who flatly thanks Rose for it. Following this, they proceed to place all the pieces of skin they took from their victims inside a circle carefully drawn with blood. With a chilling tone, Jude unveils their dark purpose, invoking the twisted logic of sacrifice to appease unseen forces. He mentions that gods or devils are not pleased through prayers, but by sacrifice. Macy then explains how she discovered the instructions for the ritual in Black Veil's forbidden library. During her time as a student, expelled for her forbidden pursuits, Macy managed to keep a crucial page from the book, laying the groundwork for their dark alliance. Over the years, Macy has found others who share their goal of using dark powers for their own twisted ends. Each life taken and drop of blood spilled has been a step towards their ultimate goal. Now, with only one innocent soul left to complete their ritual, their evil plan is nearly complete. Jude then tells them of their plan to achieve immortality through the summoning of a demon, for which one among them would be. However, they must not hold out any hope, since the remaining two would be dealt with for good soon after too. Meanwhile, Rose, resourceful and determined, uses the engagement ring given to her earlier to free herself from her bind. She punches the blabbering psycho, but before she can arm herself and defend against the attackers, Jude mercilessly subdues her. After inflicting a savage upon the defenseless teacher, he drags her unconscious body to the center of the ritual circle. Samantha shrieks and tries to protect her, but to no avail. After shrieking out to the king of hell, Jude plunges the menacing knife into poor Rose's heart. It is finally Christmas Day, and poor Rose lies lifeless in the middle of the ritual circle. Soon, a palpable tension fills the air, crackling with the malevolent energy of the finished ritual. With their black hearts beating wildly, these human demons wait for the demon from hell to show itself, but to no avail. As the grim realization sets in that their ritual has failed to summon the demon, the group is gripped by disbelief and uncertainty. Doug's skepticism mounts, questioning the purpose behind their spree of violence, while Macy remains steadfast in her belief that a crucial step has been overlooked. Jude and Macy descend into the depths of the basement to consult the forbidden library once more in search of the book. Meanwhile, back upstairs, the captors seem distracted, but Samantha and Clara are sitting obediently, their binds released. Samantha whispers to Clara, saying that they need to get out of here no matter what, or else they would be taken out, but Clara does not seem that interested in running away. She asks Doug about his desires if their demonic plans succeeded. He is reluctant at first, but still confesses his longing for Macy's companionship, frustrated by Jude's hold over her. The man starts to get frustrated as Clara pushes him further with so many questions, and he demands alcohol. Samantha tells him that there is vodka in the basement, and he rushes off, leaving the girls with Grant. In the meantime, Jude and Macy finally stumble upon the book. Back upstairs, Clara approaches Grant, indicating she knows he's an ex-soldier who craves structure and purpose. She says that he joined the group because he needs orders and enjoys having a mission. This revelation adds to the tension in the room, leaving Grant unsettled by Clara's insight into his past. All of a sudden, the girl nears the man and whispers in his ear that hell is waiting for him. Clara's command echoes through the hall, grabbing the attention of all the kidnappers. With an unsettling calmness, she tells him that she wants to show him something, and reveals sinister satanic markings on her skin. Her eyes change as she eerily smiles at him. With a terrifying presence, Clara commands Grant to release Samantha, his actions betraying a hypnotic influence exerted by Clara's unnerving power. Meanwhile, Macy and Jude are entangled together in an intimate moment when the man begins to get violent. In order to free herself, Macy hits him with an object and warns him not to touch her. As he leaves, she delves deeper into her research, uncovering a new revelation about some blood of the guilty. Back upstairs, Samantha is urged to flee for her life, while Clara stays. She hugs the girl goodbye and a hypnotized Grant shuts the door. Jude, on the other hand, crazily looks around for the demon. Clara then performs a dark ritual, taking the blood of the group's victims and putting it all over Grant's face. She promises him reward after he follows her commands. Downstairs, Macy finally makes a startling revelation. Their misguided efforts were never intended to summon the demon, rather, the demon had been present within the school all along, manipulating events to orchestrate its release. Clara, now revealed to be the embodiment of the demon itself, unleashes a menacing dance in the heart of the ritual circle upstairs. Meanwhile, a crazy Jude roams around the place, shouting for the demon to show itself, and believing himself to be the vessel. Back to Macy. Her investigation leads her to yet another shocking discovery. Scouring through old yearbooks and photographs, she unveils Clara's true identity as the ancient entity bound within the school's walls for generations. The pictures are there, yet nobody cared to notice how a single girl keeps repeating through all the photos. Marvelous. Trapped within the confines of her human form, Clara has remained a constant presence within Black Veil Academy, her familiarity stemming from her timeless existence. However, with the executioners unwittingly offering numerous sacrifices, Clara stands on the precipice of freedom. Just then, Jude arrives. His descent into madness reaches its peak, as he deludes himself into believing he is the embodiment of the demon. His erratic behavior sparks a violent confrontation with Doug, each vying for dominance amidst the chaos. However, their altercation is abruptly interrupted by the arrival of a possessed Grant. As Macy tries to desperately flee for her life, her path intersects with Clara's. Her bid for freedom is short-lived as she is swiftly captured and subdued. Meanwhile, Samantha, determined to intervene and rescue her friend, races against time to alert the authorities and arm herself for the impending confrontation. Back in the dining room, Clara takes charge of the ritual, revealing the horrifying truth of her origins. Long ago, the townsfolk attempted to summon her by setting fires everywhere, but soon they got scared and stopped, trapping Claw within the house. She admits to manipulating events over the years, influencing people to lead to this moment. She strategically placed the ritual book in the library, where Maisie found it. Now, Clara needs one final sacrifice to break free, the blood of the guilty. However, the catch is that 4 people must harm themselves or each other. She commands Grant to torture the bound executioners, as the last step in her bid for freedom from the cursed Black Veil Academy. In a tense moment, Grant commits gruesome acts by cutting off a huge lump of Macy's hair, slicing Jude's ear, and brutally chopping off Doug's fingers, offering. Despite the screams of agony, Grant pushes the boundaries and subjects to torture according to the mysterious rules. The horrifying ordeal ends with fatal blows that take Doug and Jude's lives instantly. With Macy next in line for sacrifice, Grant prepares to carry out the grim task. However, Macy skillfully turns the situation around by persuading Grant with promises of escape and a better life together. Caught between his loyalty to Clara and Macy's enticing offers, Grant faces a dilemma. Unable to defy Clara, but also swayed by Macy's words, he ultimately decides to take instead. Unexpectedly, Samantha storms in with an axe in hand, declaring her mission to rescue her friend. This bold act serves to lower Clara's guard and enables Macy to run. Seeing her prey flee, Clara quickly closes her eyes to focus and starts muttering chants. Seeing this and the strange symbols drawn in Clara's notebook, Samantha finally realizes the truth. Clara is in fact the demon itself. On the other side, Clara is manipulating Macy's mind, attempting to drive her to madness and self-destruction. Since the ritual requires the victims to take each other themselves out, Clara cannot harm them by her own hands. In the midst of the chaos and tension, Samantha persistently urges her friend to halt the disturbing ritual. Her interruptions grant Macy fleeting opportunities to make a break for the front door. Yet Clara thwarts her escape by locking it. The 2 girls rush out too. Fueled by fury at Samantha's persistent interference in her ritual, Clara expresses her frustration. She tells Samantha the profound loneliness she has endured through years of isolation. Right now, she yearns for this group to end her suffering. Samantha, touched by Clara's revelation, empathizes with her. She tells her that she cares about her and that they are friends. As the building trembles with an unknown force, Clara reveals that if Samantha really cares about her, then she should free her. Just then, the door finally flings open, and before Macy can run away, Samantha strikes from behind with the axe, swiftly carrying out the fateful deed. This act marks the culmination of the ritual, granting Clara the long-awaited freedom to exit the school after enduring decades of captivity. The invisible barrier surrounding the school finally lifts and Clara steps out. Moments later, the authorities arrive to investigate the scene and examine the bodies. However, by that time, the 2 girls had long deserted the place. A new chapter begins for Samantha and Clara. United by their shared experiences, they embark on a journey to explore the world together, because Black Veil girls look out for each other.